How y'all doing?
Hey y'all,
It's Mother.
it's Mother Knows.
Because we be what?
Knowing,
Like always.
just knowing.
And I mean, the knowing just stems back, right? Like all the way back to the motherland.
Or
All, all the way back.
I feel you.
Right. I mean, think about year after year after year after generation after, like this stems back to great, 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 great grandma and them,
And them.
and them. Right. So, yeah, talking about the motherland and its beauty and just everything it has to offer.
That's a good topic.
Yeah.
Like that's one of my favorite topics. If you
Yeah.
know me, you know I love me some motherland.
And y'all, I mean, to know me is to know. I'm going to take it back to the motherland. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to connect it back to our roots, back to where we came from, because you have to.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're lost. Which is why a lot of us are lost in this day and age,
Yeah.
because we don't, and you can only know so much about your roots just based on how we got here, but at least just understanding the essence of it and appreciating it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about though, like it was designed that way,
Mm-hmm.
right? Divide and conquer.
Yep.
Make sure that they don't understand their roots because then they won't understand the source of their power.
Mm-hmm.
you know. But in thinking about Queen Africa,
Mm-hmm.
my husband and I, so we connected over when we first met in law school. The first thing we connected over was that we both wanted to go to as many countries on the continent as we could
Okay.
get to. So like that was like, okay, he gets it.
Yeah.
When we first like clicked on that, we were both like,
You
okay,
got to get it.
yeah,
Because if you start talking to me about Paris and about
yeah,
London and
that's where it
about
started.
UK and all
Yeah,
that, like that takes precedent,
yeah.
or
That's where it
China,
started.
like no.
We were like, so where you want to like go, vacation and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And we started talking. I was like, okay, I can rock with this.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually people be throwing those same, those out. And I just saw over the summer, I think it was a couple months ago, there was either a video of somebody ranting about or like a meme of this person who had traveled to Paris
And it was horrible.
and was like, this is like
It
the
was
New York City of
dirty.
Europe.
It was stinky.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing to do. And I was like, see, had you just spent that money to go to Ghana,
That's the
Kenya,
thing.
Nigeria,
Right.
Sierra Leone. I mean, like we're not going to name all the countries,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I mean, you had
But
so
it's
many
so
options.
beautiful over there, and the terrain is so vast.
Mm-hmm.
The
Oh
continent
yeah.
is so big that you can get anything and everything you would
Yep.
want
Beaches,
in any other location.
wildlife.
Right. So even going when my husband and I, so we honeymooned in Ghana, and then we went to Kenya.
Why did I always think it was just always Kenya? I didn't know y'all honeymoon.
Mm-mm.
Okay, because we went to Ghana.
Yeah. So we honeymooned in Ghana. That was our first time on the continent. Amazing.
Oh my goodness.
But Kenya blew my mind.
Yeah.
Like that's literally
Well,
right
so
now is my favorite place on the continent, but we've only been to two.
well, I've only been to one, but every time I think about going back, I'm like, I just want to go to Ghana. Like, but I know there's so many other countries that I need
You
to
have to
learn
go to
about.
Kenya.
Okay, so with you having gone to two, what's the difference between Ghana and Kenya? Like, why is Kenya like in your mind like it's Kenya for me? Like,
Yeah. So I'll say I loved Ghana,
mm-hmm.
especially because it was our first time, and
Mm-hmm.
I would advise anyone going to the continent to try to find a country like a Ghana or a Nigeria or a South Africa
Yeah,
that
where
is a
you
little bit more westernized,
exactly,
where it's
yeah,
not, like
it's a little
so
bit more industrial. Like,
right.
you have the restaurants, you
Mhm.
have the resorts, you have
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. And so Ghana was that. And
Mm-hmm.
it was beautiful. We had a great time. The people were amazing. And shout out to one of my really good friends from UNC who hooked us up with his friend who
Mm-hmm.
lived there and
Mm-hmm.
was basically like a kind of our tour guide. It was phenomenal.
Yep.
The difference I think with Kenya and Ghana, when you get off the plane, you do notice, I think that there's a little bit less regulation of like the air quality and things like that.
Okay,
So
yeah.
there was a little bit of
Like
like
smogginess,
smog in
yeah.
the air. You notice that. Kenya was not the same. Um, Kenya too, and my view might be a little skewed because on our honeymoon we stayed right in Accra, and we
Yep,
didn't
we
we
did
didn't
too.
we didn't really like
Oh, y'all
vary
didn't
out
vary
that
out.
much.
Okay, yeah.
But in Kenya, we stayed in Nairobi. We had a place in Nairobi for 2 weeks. But then over the weekend, we took a plane ride, which was only like $30, y'all,
Isn't that
to
great? That's crazy.
right Mombasa, which is on the coast, and it was amazing. We had a beautiful villa with a private chef, and the beaches were insane. So
Yeah.
Kenya, for me, the people, both places were
But wait, you're
incredibly
saying the
nice.
beaches were insane in Kenya?
In Kenya,
Did you go
yeah.
to the beach in
Yeah,
Ghana?
yeah.
Okay.
The sand was a little bit rocky. Kenya's sand, y'all, when I tell you,
Like the finest
it
dust
felt
ever.
like mud. Like it felt
Oh,
like
like a
soft
damp
mud, but it didn't, because it was sand, it didn't like stick.
stick to you.
Like, so it was soft like mud,
Mm-hmm.
but it would like roll off your skin.
And
Like
what
it
about the
wasn't,
water?
the water was clear, beautiful, crystal
Like
clear.
Bahamas clear?
Gorgeous.
Well, okay. Because Ghana was
Gorgeous.
more. It reminds me more of like a
Like an
Myrtle
Atlantic.
Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, like an
It's
Atlantic
right off
Ocean.
the
Yeah,
Atlantic
true. Oh
Ocean.
yeah.
So
So
yeah,
don't
no.
be hitting me with the
Geography.
like I don't know my geography. I know the Atlantic. Yes, it's in the Atlantic. We know you smart.
Don't do me.
But
But I say all that to say both of them were beautiful. So let's break it down. Ghana, what was your experience like?
so we spent almost like a full 2 weeks in Ghana. It was amazing because we got to hop around to different resorts, right? So we stayed in Accra first. Then we visited the Cape Coast
We did
slave
that.
castles, right?
That's an incredible experience. We got to break that down.
Yeah,
We're
we
gonna do
have to
that
break that
separately.
down. Yeah. Then we went to Akosombo, which is like the countryside, and it's like 2 hours away from Accra. And we went there, and we got to visit the village schools there. So we got to like work with the children and help them like conduct science experiments. Girl, it was amazing. Like just like that your essence is from there, but to see the young children and to see like just their bright spirits and their happy and their skin is gorgeous, like beyond gorgeous. And they they're just so mannerable, right?
Yeah.
And so that was
it's like the aura of respect with them is just there.
Yep. And love too, love. And so we did that, and then we were able to so let me take it back a second. My husband is well connected to some people that live over there. So one of his friends, we were able to go to his friend's brother's house. And so what they have is a large estate of land in Akosombo, the countryside. And so they have like houses that are probably, I think he said, like a mile apart, but they're backed right up into the Akosombo Lake. So behind his brother's house, like he had the lake, which it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And then, he also had a man-made pool, like a pool that he made out of the lake.
Oh wow!
And so
that reminds me of Parent Trap.
Yeah. Yep. And so for him to just walk out of his home, see the mountains, see the beautiful trees, the lake
he walking
is there.
out with
he's walking out into heaven. Like, are you serious?
Coming to America when he when he walked out into the
yeah. And Akosombo for us would be difficult to live in because we're not used to it, right? So like the electricity and the water, like it's just
a lot of natural.
They have
terrain.
It, but it's just not.
Yeah, you got to navigate a little bit.
It's not
more
like over here, exactly. Yeah. And then of course grocery stores and stuff like that. Right. But I remember his brother, my husband's friend's brother, saying to us, he was like, a lot of people have it backwards. He was like, a lot of people want to live in the city and then go vacation somewhere peaceful. He said, but I would rather live in peace. And then go vacation to somewhere busy, right? Yeah. Get my little fix, and then come back
to peace.
And then too, to also understand how his family like had the land,
that estate,
and they were all living right next to each other, but far enough apart where they weren't on top of each other. So
we giving each other a mile.
And I think like they were building hotels out there, so it was starting to grow, but they hadn't developed yet. And then too, our story is similar to yours. So my husband, Jamaris, he had another friend in Accra that kind of like showed us around and was our tour guide and took us to like the little hot spot, nightlife. And they had karaoke and different things. So it was a really great experience. The women,
gorgeous, right? Just beautiful.
Girl, them shapes.
Right. Just amazing, right?
Them shapes over there, I'm like,
it's like, but like their shapes there, it's like
it's so effortless.
Like it's just like
dainty shoulder, dainty waist,
right?
And then
bam. Just bam, and you just like, I'm like, over here, just a little of me over here.
Okay, little of me.
With the massive hips
and my American eyes, right. And my colonized little rump back
Right.
here.
No, but I feel you on that. We be at the mall when we were in Accra. I'd be like, babe, babe.
Right. Like, look.
And he looking at me like, girl, should I look? Can I look? Like,
But you know what amazed me was the men over there. Like, so if you're in the States, right, and they see a thick girl walk by, it's like, dang,
no,
and they
they're
like,
not doing that.
they're not, it's like every day for them. Like, it's not
Actually,
like a
though,
big.
but someone explained
Okay,
to
because
us.
please.
So when we were in Accra, we were pretty close to the mall, like walking distance. So we would walk at night, and we would see women out by themselves, like walking, and there's a whole bunch of men hanging
Yeah.
out. Respectful, didn't like say anything, didn't
Didn't, yeah.
ogle,
Cat
nothing,
call, none of that,
nothing.
right.
But over there, disrespecting women, rape, all of that is
Oh, it's
a
like
huge
huge.
offense.
Okay.
So that's why they let
Take,
it go.
I
Right.
was going to say take notes, America, but we're not even
We're
run
not
by
gonna
our
do
people.
right,
So,
right. Like I
anyway.
mean, yeah. But I think about when I first got off the plane the first time on our honeymoon to Ghana, and just the feeling I had of stepping foot on the land that
Yes.
my people
That
are
my
from.
people are from.
And then, you get into the airport and you see all these people who see you and know like what's happening in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, welcome home, my sister. Welcome home, my brother. It was a beautiful thing. Like,
And then to step off too and not feel different.
right. Like
Like it's
immediately
just
you're like,
immediately
your
you're like,
guard
I
is
can
down. You can
relax.
breathe.
I can relax and
I
breathe.
literally exhaled.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I mean, all you see is shades of brown just
Right.
everywhere you go.
It's a beautiful feeling. But like you said, similar to you, we had the experience when we were in Ghana. We were there for 12 days, which
Okay.
is a only when you go over
No, it
there
is
and you
because there's
talk to
so
them.
much to see and do.
So much to
Like
see and do, but when you talk to them about their vacations, they
it's
like,
like a
I
month,
mean, a
2 months,
month, two,
right?
3,
Yeah.
and you're like, no, I mean, it's a good. I mean,
Girl, they gave me 15
right?
PTO.
I was like, I had 12 days, and I was happy about the 12 days.
Listen,
But
a 2-week vacation.
But literally, we went over there, and my friend from UNC, he connected me with his friend Kwame, and we had the best time with him. We still keep in touch with him through social media,
Mm-hmm.
but hands down the best time. But he showed us the nightlife. He took us out, and we just had such a good time. But he was so welcoming, right?
Yeah.
And so just like accommodating anything you need. Even if he was at work some days, but he would be like, what are y'all doing today? Do y'all need any help?
Yeah.
Can I
Yeah.
assist y'all and
Just
let y'all?
very accommodating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just very helpful and just like wanting to help.
Yeah.
And then we actually we met someone who was like, man, if y'all would have stayed for like 2 more days, they were having a wedding in the mountainside.
Mm-hmm.
And they invited us to this wedding. I was literally
I
was trying to work it out. I was trying to figure out how we
All we
could
need is
stay
2 more days.
but
Just you couldn't stay.
I could.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, but Keith wasn't able to. But you want to talk about somebody who was just sad about not
Mm-hmm.
being able to
Mm-hmm.
experience that wedding, because it was actually a 4-day wedding. They had just started it, and they were like, like, we want you to come.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean,
I was hurt
it
by
wasn't
that
like
wedding.
my experience there was much more than I could have imagined, right? Because
Hmm.
I went there to have, just have a vacation with my
Yeah.
husband, but I was able to also like experience some business over there too. So, how we ended up in Ghana is my husband was invited because at that time, first of all, like the Great Return,
Hmm.
right? And Ghana was like one of the countries spearheading that, right? So
Right.
inviting everyone to come. One of the conversations was how do we bridge HBCUs
Hmm.
and the continent together? So that was the
And that's still
initiative.
an ongoing
Yeah,
conversation.
that was the initiative that we flew out there for. So we flew out there because my husband was, he was going to speak out there.
Hmm.
And so he did that, but I think they ended up losing a speaker in the program, and so I didn't know it at the time, but I ended up having like not having to, but being invited to speak too, because they needed another panelist on the panel to talk about how we bridge HBCUs
Oh, wonderful.
in Africa together and just create that
You better
channel,
drop
right?
that knowledge.
International speaker,
Resume
Ghana,
noted.
Accra. But that was an amazing experience, and then also as a part of that initiative, when we did travel around, when we went to Akasombo and visited the dam out there, the dam is really big and it's kind of like a popular tourist site.
Mhm.
Um, we had a celebration, and one of the local kings actually honored like my husband. Like they called out, all of his work that he does trying to build awareness in our community around financial literacy, around economics, and other HBCUs and other things. But seeing a local king, right, in his regalia, in his traditional cloth, like honor him, like call him up, honor him, and give him his,
I probably would have dropped a tear.
We did. We both dropped a couple of tears.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Like, I am home.
Right. And they had like,
amongst my people.
For real, to be seen by your people.
Yes. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I would have cried.
And they had the dancers there, like as he's walking up, and then it was the king and his elders, right? Okay. So then the elders were like, welcoming him. It was just a phenomenal experience.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And he didn't know it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like we were just sitting there
at the celebration. We couldn't for the reaction either.
And they were like, Mr. Jamaris Payton, please come up. And he was like, wait, what? And I was like, you better go up and go up and meet the king.
Like a proud mom.
You better go. Get my king. You better go up and meet the king. Follow him as he walked. But it was amazing, like for both of us to be able to have that experience. So it was. I mean, I can't wait to go back. Every time my husband asks me,
Kenya. You must go to Kenya. You must go to Kenya.
I do want to try Sierra Leone too.
Sierra Leone.
I mean, all of them really.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. I want to go to Nigeria.
Nigeria.
I want to go back. I want to go to Tanzania, which is
got to go back to
neighboring Kenya. But I just want to go. Tanzania, like the fall, Lake Victoria, I believe.
Yeah,
beautiful.
But here's what I wish. I wish our people had the mindset. I do think travel the world, see other cultures. That's important.
I'm gonna say,
but let me say this. Let me say this. Whenever my husband asks me where I want to go for vacation, I want to go somewhere black.
To the continent.
At the minimum, I want to go somewhere black.
Yeah.
Whether that is, if we really just keeping it close, whether it's the islands, whether it's South America, where there's plenty of black folk, like I want to go somewhere where I am experiencing different black cultures.
Yeah.
Because we're so diverse. Now, the premium of the premium is the motherland, right? Like if I can get that money together for that flight, because that flight is that flight, that cost.
Actually, we caught a good deal for
Ghana. Girl, what's a good deal?
Our tickets were $600 a piece.
Dang. How did y'all catch that deal?
I can't even remember, but it was a good one.
Because I have never seen 600 for a flight to Africa ever.
And I'm
600,
661 a piece
to go to Kenya,
to Ghana.
Okay, but even looking at Ghana, I've never seen 661. You was it a late night search? I'm trying to get all the tricks.
I can't remember. I think it was like Scott's Deals or something. There's an app called Scott's Deals.
Okay. Noted.
I need to be careful about that because we ain't getting paid for nobody's shout outs. But
no, but I'm turning 40 next year.
Not yet, but
deal me up.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, if you can find you a good deal.
On that tip though, like I try not to be judgmental and I try not to roll my eyes when I hear our people talking about how like they want to go to Greece and Paris and
I'm judging a little bit. I'm sorry.
I try not to be, but then I'm like, I wish they would take a second to think about why their mindset is never on going back to their roots, because it really is
and think about the money they're paying for those tickets.
The money they're paying for those tickets and the experience you're going to get versus going back to the continent and really like connecting with something that is in you, like in your DNA.
It's genetic.
That you were stripped of.
You wouldn't be here if your genetic lineage didn't come through that place.
But think about it, like how purposeful this world has been at keeping us, especially African Americans, keeping all of the diaspora separated, but especially African Americans from like really tapping into going back, because the narrative here is, Africa is not going to give you the same experience as a going to Europe would, or but that just couldn't be further from the truth. So like I would really impress upon people to really think about that when they're looking at vacationing, because it is hands down like going to, and we could talk about some of the attractions in Ghana, but going to like the canopy treetops was beautiful.
Oh yeah, we went oh man.
And that's if you don't know, it's like a tree forest, and they've created like these canopies where you can walk amongst the trees.
You might have done what you might have went to the same place then. Did they
yeah,
give you like coconuts and
yeah.
Okay. So yeah,
It's the
okay.
same
That
thing.
was a long walk though. But it was, I
It
mean,
was nice though.
it was nice. Like I'm
Yeah.
not saying like it, like
Yeah.
it's just to get there.
Yeah, it's a lot,
It's
but we had a good time.
yeah.
And we actually the day we went, we were there with a school. They were like middle school age, and the
Aww.
girls were like, I think because they noticed that I was black,
But
but
you look
yeah,
different
I looked a little
because
different.
I got that over there too.
Yeah,
Like I mean, we know you black,
yeah,
but what kind of black?
yeah. So the girls were like, like all around
Uh
me and
huh.
wanting to talk to me, wanting to know where I was
Uh huh.
from, and like, it was really sweet. And there's
Yeah.
this one little girl that like I don't know, our souls just connected. She was just
You
up,
always had that one
that
child.
one,
Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah,
she was up under me the whole
yeah.
time. And at the end, can I take a picture? It was
Oh,
so
yeah,
sweet.
yeah. This, I mean, the kids are the sweetest over
Yeah.
there. And then to the slave castles, right?
Yes.
So
Yep.
going to the Cape Coast
Cape
the
Coast.
slave castle,
It,
which was another like
that's a
to
powerful moment.
yeah to walk into the energy of
That
what
energy was
your
strong.
ancestors had to go
That
through.
energy was strong. You could feel it as soon as you step foot
Yeah.
in there. It's like it kind of is on you,
Yep. Yeah.
And it's a for me it was like it was very empowering, but I definitely could feel like I could feel it. I could feel myself there.
Hmm.
I could feel the spirit of those that were like they're just trying their best to survive. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And it gave me a spirit of thankfulness, thinking about everything that they had to endure and thinking about the fact that that was just the first
The first step.
stop,
Yeah.
but they had so much more to
Because that
endure.
door of no return,
Whoo! Right. And seeing it,
walking through it,
like tears,
yeah, and just knowing that they from this point
forever
are
removed
forever
from
stripped.
everything they knew.
Yeah, from everything they knew.
Hmm.
And then of course we know what happens after, right?
Right.
Then now we're stripped of everything that they knew and that we should know,
Right.
you
Exactly.
know?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think for me, seeing the rooms that they kept them in
Ooh.
until they're like the
The
ship
size
arrived,
of
the
those
size
rooms and the
and
amount
how
of people
many
would be in those
exactly.
rooms.
And of course you have to do normal things like go
Yeah.
to the bathroom and
Right.
do like
And we know what they made them go there.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Mm.
So but also too when you think of when you bring up thankfulness, right? For me to be able to go back and honor
Mm-hmm.
everyone that had to go through that journey just so African Americans here and in South America and in the islands could
Everywhere
be
we
here
stopped. Yeah.
today,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
I was just very thankful to be able to say thank you in that space.
Yeah.
Like, thank you for your strength. I know it wasn't easy. I know. Because we always be like, girl, couldn't be me. Let me tell you something. Back
Right.
in them days, if you were in that time, it would have been you.
Right.
You
I
know?
mean,
And that's kind of
I think
disrespectful to say that.
so that's one of the things that I can't stand seeing. The I am not my ancestor. Bruh,
But you are.
you are number one, but you couldn't even last probably a day in your ancestors'
Not
shoes
in this
because
privileged life.
they made it far enough so that you could be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't even know. You ain't ever been tested the way they were
At
tested.
all. At all. To have your family stripped apart, to be
Right.
up in them fields,
So whenever I see that I am
raped.
not, I be like, if y'all don't stop disrespecting these
But you know what I
ancestors
say? You're
that
right.
breathed enough
You're
into you
right.
to get here,
You're not.
you are
You are, but you're
but
not.
you're not. Yeah.
Because if you were tested
Right.
in that way,
You're not.
you might fold, you
Right.
know? So
You're right. You're not. But yeah, so that was beautiful. And I'm thinking about so in Kenya we were able to do a safari,
yeah.
which was
Well, we
beautiful.
couldn't do that in Ghana, of course.
The acacia trees there,
Uh-huh.
like I love the trees in Africa.
But
Well,
can I ask a question?
yeah.
What were the bugs like? Like, were there the bugs?
Okay, so Kenya, Ghana,
Because you know Ghana, no, like Ghana
Ghana
was
wasn't
pretty
that
again
bad.
because it was developed.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Kenya,
Because you know how to do with bugs, girl.
I'm gonna tell y'all this. It's the itchiest I have ever felt in my entire life. Like the mosquito bite itch in Kenya is on 1,000. Like
How were the bumps like bigger too, or was it just the
they were.
itchiness?
But it's
Okay,
because I couldn't. It felt so satisfying to scratch them things. It's an itch I have never felt in my life.
got you.
But um, what I learned after like meeting some of the locals is like if you like squeeze like once you get bitten, if you make sure you squeeze out all the whatever,
Oh, and then
you
it'll
don't really
help.
feel it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But them first
Wait, so when
couple,
you squeeze it, you can see it come out?
it's not like
It's not a
it's
lot.
not
It's
like
just
it's
like
a little
I
bit,
got you, but
but it's
it's
enough to
enough
help.
to help.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, it was on another level. But like the experience is just hands down phenomenal. Like I can't describe for y'all the beauty of the land in Kenya. It's just gorgeous. The way the trees, like when you think about the Lion King, I hate to equate it to an animation,
Yeah.
but you think about how the trees like kind of like sway
Mhm.
in the scene. That's exactly how they looked. Like it's like a
Mm.
horizontal tree and not like
Mhm.
our trees kind of
Yeah.
balloon out, but theirs are like horizontal around across, like kind of like
I
clouds.
got you.
It was so pretty. But the safari is amazing. The Maasai people
Mhm.
are very well known, and
Yep.
so like when we were in Mombasa, which was the beach area that we went to, so we stayed in Nairobi, which is the city, and we had a apartment there. We rented it for 2 weeks, and so we took a long weekend though in the middle of our trip. We kept our place, took a long weekend in the middle of our trip to the beach, the coast, Mombasa, and that was like I said, you can either take the train, which is a day trip, but you see the countryside, which is beautiful. We would have done that, but we were, we had a short time
Mhm.
to get there. So we took the plane, which was like an hour flight, $30
Right.
round trip. Um, we stayed in a private villa. We had a pool. We had the beach.
Girl for the low, did wasn't it for the low?
Cheap. I mean, it was really cheap.
Yeah.
I don't even know how much now. My husband pays. I'm not sure.
Okay, big ballin'.
I would be lying if
Shout
I
out to King.
shouted out the money, but it was very cheap, like very reasonable. And it had its own private chef, Abdullah, who is so sweet. Like literally every morning, he would ask us what we wanted,
Mhm.
and he would write down a grocery list. He went to the market every day for fresh
Wow.
food, or he would have the fishermen come by our villa, and we would pick whatever we
Mhm.
wanted, like lobster one day and whatever fish catch, and he would cook it that night. Like he would
With
prepare
the
this
fresh fit. Okay.
prepare the seasonings and stuff all
Yeah.
day, and then
Girl.
start cooking, and we would have like
Okay.
a moonlit dinner outside in the villa. Like it was beautiful. It was hands down one of the best experiences I've ever
Yeah, we
had.
might be in Africa next year.
Yeah, Kenya is like literally the best. And our last night
Do they
there,
have a so they have a major airport. They have to.
yes, in
Okay.
Nairobi.
Nairobi. That's
Yeah.
okay.
And our last night there, I wish I remembered the restaurant, but Henry was the chef. We went to this place. It was like a house
Mhm.
restaurant.
Mhm.
And somebody had recommended it that we ran into and was like, y'all got to go here. We went there, but the restaurant was closed for the night
Mhm.
because he was hosting a private dinner for his friends who had come into
Mm.
town. But he said, you know what? Come on. So he let us come into the restaurant. He
With
took
his
us
friends.
with his friends. He
Okay.
took us to the upstairs private area. So we had he made us
Oh my
he made
goodness.
like a 5 course
Yeah.
meal. And so he whatever he cooked them, he brought up to us, and he said, I'm like we paid like a little small flat fee, and he just brought up whatever he was cooking for his friends up to us. And
Amazing,
then
wasn't it? The
it was
food.
so good because he actually Henry he told me his true name, but he went by Henry. But
Okay.
he actually he was a chef actually in California.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
but he came back home because his wife is from Kenya. I think he was from Ghana, but
Got
they
it.
came back to Kenya because his wife had family land, and that's where they started his restaurant.
Get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like hands down, one of the best experiences ever. And after we ate, we went down, like, met his friends and
Mhm.
everything. It was so nice. I just
Yeah,
have,
we're gonna be in Africa next
yeah,
year.
but those are the stories that I hear from everyone who goes there, about
To the continent or to Kenya?
to the continent
Okay, yes.
itself, about
Yeah.
how like you meet people, you
Yeah.
connect, you have these special moments.
Yep.
They like, are so accommodating,
They
so
are.
loving, so open, and
Yeah.
in open arms of like, oh, okay, come on in,
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm not open today, but come on,
Mhm.
that's just the experience.
So, I mean, this is making me think like, okay, what are the tips, right? If you're going to go to the continent, to the motherland,
Mhm.
what are the tips that people should be listening to, or like how should they be planning their trip, right? Go ahead.
Well, first, the one of the first things I would say is just I just need you guys to understand the context of. So one of the days we were there in Mombasa on the beach. I play soccer, so I was on the beach and I ran into someone from Australia,
Mm,
um, an Englishman who had moved to Australia, and he was on the coast just playing and dribbling
mm-hmm,
and juggling. And I started, I came over and I asked if I could juggle with him. We
mm-hmm.
started juggling, we started talking, and he said, I'm so happy you're here. This is the low season. And he
Yeah,
said,
we went during the low season
yeah.
too.
And he
Yeah.
said, a lot of times, because we started talking and he knew where I was from, a lot of times, a lot of Americans go to Europe. And he said, but because he's from Europe, he said, a little known secret, we actually leave Europe and come here because we
Mm,
know where the real spot is.
right.
That's basically what he was saying. He was like, y'all go there and y'all can have
That would have got on my nerves. Like, don't tell us we go there.
right, but well, not us
I
as in
know, but
us, but like
yeah,
Americans. Yeah, y'all go there thinking that that's the bee's knees, but really the vacationing, the spot is here on the coast.
yeah. No, okay. So I'm glad he also,
Yeah,
right, is affirming what
he
we
was
have
affirming
always
it.
felt. Because I
Yeah,
have always never had like a high interest in going to Europe
you and me both.
ever.
I
Like
mean,
y'all
I'm
can,
not saying I'll never go. I just came
right?
back from
You can,
Ireland and it
but
was nice.
my first thought is you can go and tell me about it while I go to these other places, and then if I have the time
Yeah,
to
it's not
go
my priority.
there, exactly.
My priority is
And it's
getting
a
to,
very, 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 very low priority.
yeah, my priority, my husband and I, is getting to as many countries on the continent as we
Yeah,
can.
which
That's it.
which it should be,
Yeah.
right?
And then
Um,
we'll sprinkle in Jamaica and
because I
Bahamas
mean,
and
okay, because you're gonna have a good time
right.
in Jamaica and the Bahamas, all right? Trinidad, all of that.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so knowing when to go.
Yes.
And I said low season, but we went in the summer, which is high season for the States. But what I didn't realize is
You
that
went in our summer.
yes,
Yeah,
in the
that's the
States,
perfect
right?
time to go though.
So, but I didn't know that that's actually their
Their
winter time.
winter.
And I mean, it
Yeah.
makes sense when you think about,
Mhm.
the earth and
Yeah.
it spins and
Yep.
all that. But I didn't think about it at the time. And I was like, it's kind of like
Yeah.
80 degrees. Like we in Africa, it was like 80, I think 85 at the most, which is
Yeah.
crazy that that's their
That's their
winter.
winter. Yeah.
So they were
It
like
rains
walking
a little more
around.
too though.
Yeah, it does. They were walking around like it was, cool. And I'm like, I mean, I'm good
Like,
with
I'm hot.
80, right?
I'm kind of
I'm
warm.
okay, right? So just knowing when to go, and also too, I think trying to visit different places, right? So go to a waterfront, like go try to find some water.
Yep.
Try to, go visit some historical sites. Go visit wildlife, and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
try to spread it out. And I like how you were able to hop around and go to Ghana, go to Kenya. So I think that's also an important tip too. Is
Yeah.
if you can catch a cheap flight and then hop over to another country for a night, right? Just to visit it, just to see what it's about.
I think another thing to say is they have made it easier for those coming from the West when it comes to the cuisine.
Yeah.
However, I would really impart on y'all to just venture out, try their dishes, jollof and all,
Mm-hmm.
all the good,
Fufu and all that.
rich
Mm-hmm.
dishes that they have because it's so good
Yeah.
and so nutritious.
Yeah.
Like their ingredients are fresh,
Right.
like I, mentioned, and just cooked so well. The seasonings,
Yeah.
they let it sit and simmer and like really like get in there
Mm-hmm.
for like a day or two before they cook it,
Mm-hmm.
actually. So I would really just say try to venture out, and like I said, it's easy to find those places that they've created to cater to us
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah. Yep.
they do some of that,
Yep.
but there are spots you can go.
And two, if you can, like try to find a charitable moment along your trip, right? And
Yeah.
I don't even care if it's going to one of the local smaller towns. I'll call them towns because I don't know if I like the word village, but smaller townships or whatever. And just seeing how you can give back. It could be really just like going out there and seeing different families and maybe handing them $20. Like,
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, like literally. Or what one of my friends did one time was create goodie bags for the kids. And this was actually in Cuba, but I think it would be a good idea in Africa too, like create goodie bags for the children because like our candy to them is like
a
premier
luxury. Yeah,
candy.
yeah,
Like it's a
yeah.
luxury, right? So I just little.
Even though their ingredients are so much
All
better in their
right, like
candy.
our candy
like,
is chemically.
like their sugar is actually real.
We, yeah. So like any like charitable thing you can do while you're there, I think is also something too to
Yeah,
consider.
because their sugar cane.
Yeah.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
was like, this is
Uh-huh.
good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a
Um,
good a tip. I would also say connecting with someone if you can that's
that
there.
knows the area.
Yeah,
That's like I think that's
that's
very
key.
important. That's
Yeah,
very
like
important.
it changed our trip.
Yeah, because culturally we're just different.
Yeah.
And so like if you're when even like this is anywhere, right? So when you're thinking that you're not being offensive, like even the smallest things can offend another
Mm-hmm.
culture.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you. Like make sure you know someone that is from that area that can kind of teach you the customs
Yeah.
and just how to conduct yourself while you're over there.
And also too, just helping you to navigate. Like with Kwame, he was there to like, whatever y'all trying to do, I can let you know if it's a good idea, where you want to go. If you want to have this kind of experience, I
Mm-hmm.
can suggest this, and this,
Yep.
So it really is a good way to connect.
Yeah.
And then I also too, just thinking about my first time when we went to Ghana, if you can, this is hard, but if you can, being flexible because you never know what that trip will bring as far as
Like
like
if you
the
can
opportunities it brings.
yeah, and so right. So like both of us, I think because we weren't supposed to be there for 2 weeks. We were supposed to be there, I think, for like a week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But we ended up staying longer. So if
Yep.
you can be flexible with your dates, just pack a couple more outfits.
Right.
Maybe use a bigger suitcase because you never know. You might be there for an additional couple of days. When
You
you get
might be
over
going
there,
to
you
somebody's
don't want
wedding.
right.
Because I sure was gonna be up in that wedding, like
You
I knew
might end
them.
up being a speaker on a panel. Like you just never
Exactly. You
know.
just never
Like,
know.
and I'm gonna be honest. Like the dresses that I had, I was like, "Ooh, girl, like you know, what is it giving?" Because I'm not trying to
Little thigh
offend.
was
Okay,
out.
like I had all my little cute dresses. I think
Like,
I
girl,
found
pull
like.
that down.
Luckily, I had one that just made the cut.
Okay.
But I was,
You still were like,
how we were
yeah.
raised. I was still sitting there like, don't move a leg, don't move
Yeah. I mean,
anything.
you there with dignitaries. You like.
Exactly. So just
But
prepare
I mean,
yourself.
it really is so. It's just eye opening and phenomenal. Like the things that unfold while you're there. It's
Mm-hmm.
like everything is like kismet and meant to be. Because one of the nights, my husband and I went out. Um, we were at a
Excuse me.
bar, and then all of a sudden, like it got quiet,
Uh-huh.
and people like the seas parted, and like these dignitaries walked
Oh,
in,
okay.
politicians, and they came just to grab beer after a meeting.
Uh-huh.
But like everybody was like just like
Time to go. Like,
no, just like
oh.
quiet and like
Oh,
like
okay, okay. Like
and me and Keith were like, what's happening?
bring some order, like kind
Yeah.
of okay.
We were like, wait a minute, and
Yeah.
then we see these like guys, and they're,
Yeah. Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
But you just never know the opportunities you have, the people you meet, like, so.
Yeah. So I mean, like I know a lot of people in our audience have probably went to I won't say a lot, but a good half maybe have been to the motherland, right? Have
Mm-hmm.
been to Africa. So for those that haven't, and even if you are going back, just thinking about how you can just expand your trip,
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I got. I mean,
I
I got
think,
more, but
yeah, I would also say too, just I think you always want to experience the things that are like kind of um the hallmarks of going there,
mm-hmm,
like, the canopy
mm-hmm,
treetops, the Cape Coast,
mm-hmm.
going to the safari in
Try
Kenya.
to find you some
So
local,
try to find other experiences
yeah,
as well.
some more. I would say more local like
Yeah.
experiences to really get the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thinking back to Ghana, one of the nights we went out with Kwame, he brought us to a karaoke night, and it was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like just
Yep.
seeing everybody in their element,
Yep.
chill, kind of laid back. And it was like an outside bar. And it was just fun,
Mm-hmm.
like just like the
In
breeze in the
Ghana,
air in Ghana.
we might
Yeah.
have went to the same one then.
Okay.
Yeah.
The breeze in the air, everybody
Yeah.
kind of hanging out.
Yeah. This is a pretty popular one.
Yeah.
Like in the main
Yep.
strip. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was fun.
Yep. So make sure y'all go to the motherland.
Yes. I'm trying
If
to
you
think
have any trips planned to
if there's any other tips before we head out. Anything else?
um, do some squats.
Because you will be walking.
No, do some squats.
Oh, don't do that.
Blend it a little bit more, girl.
Ain't no kind of squat gonna get you what they got. You might as well hang that on up.
Right.
Ain't no squat gonna get that.
That's God given.
That is God given.
But yeah,
child.
On that note,
right.
I do have to say though, I hit the mic a couple of times, y'all. I'm just saying that, this is we can pull the audience in. So just so you don't play it back and be annoyed. I tapped it a couple of times.
Behind the curtain, you giving them an insight behind the curtain.
Inside, behind. We're breaking the fourth wall, like they like to say on reality TV. I hit the mic a couple of times.
I'm sorry, y'all. I hit the mic. The audio might be a little off on some.
Just let you know.
All right, no, but thank y'all. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and please let us know about y'all's experience.
Yeah, we want to hear about where you went, what it was like. Like the travel plans.
Yeah, what
everything.
countries did you hit up? What countries
cheap apps y'all know about?
Right. What countries can you tell us about? Suggest.
Because I ain't never seen no $600 ticket.
All the tea.
All of it.
All of it.
Like that $600 ticket.
I'm just saying. All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.